Jose Altuve, who is truly one of the best players in the game.
Yes, he is. He will probably get this number retired, and the Blue Jays saw everything about Jose Altuve the last time they faced them in that series back at Rogers Center. Remember, he only played 3 of the 4 games, but he was 9 for 14 with 5 runs scored and 5 RBIs. He can hit. He's a small guy, but if you make mistakes, he can knock it out of the ballpark. He just has great hand-eye coordination. He's trying to win his 3rd batting title in the last 4 seasons. Not just about offense. He's a great defensive player. He won the Gold Glove in 2015 on defense there. Pound for pound, I think one of the best players in the American League.
Now, Altuve did not play last night, and Houston scored 16 runs on 18 hits. Marco Estrada's coming off back-to-back good starts the last couple of times out, but he's really going to be challenged tonight by this red-hot hitting Astros team. His location is going to be premium #1 for Marco Estrada. Hazel?
Presented by the all-new Honda Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Welcome to Houston in beautiful Minute Maid Park. We are indoors once again. It is steamy and hot outside, but it is comfortable inside, and we have just seen a terrific ceremony celebrating the induction of Jeff Bagwell into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And a lot of fans here all weekend long, but you know, the beauty of baseball, Pat, is the fact that a loss is a loss, whether it's 1-0 or 16-7, and the Blue Jays have a chance tonight to even the series to the game apiece.
You know, I guess if you have to lose a ball game, you lose it like last night. You can just tell yourself when you're back at the hotel you had no chance to win that one, so they have to strap it back on tonight.
Easy to forget. Blue Jays top of the order. Bautista, Martin, and Russell Martin's got a 5-game hit streak. Russell hit a home run in the game last night in the 5th inning, one of the few bright spots offensively for the Blue Jays. Then down in the 5th spot, Kendrys Morales on this road trip is 6 for 15. He's hit a double, a home run, and he's driven in 2 on this road trip so far. And they are set to take on Charlie Morton, who they faced back at Rogers Center early in July.
And the Blue Jays lost that game to Morton as he threw 6 innings. Just gave up 1 earned run, lost that ball game 12-2. Overall, this is his 16th start. He's 9-4. He's a 10-year Major League veteran who joined the Astros this offseason. They signed him as a free agent, gave him a 2-year contract, and it has really worked out. A 3.77 earned run average, and that ERA keeps going down every month. In April, it was 4.50. It now sits at 3.77. He also led the American League in opponents' batting average against in July. They only hit 165 against Morton with that good sinker curveball combination. Plus, he gets out the job and gets him deeper into the game. He's gone at least 5 innings in each of his 15 starts this season, which is the longest streak of his career.
Morton is 33 years old. He'll have the defense behind him, supporting him here, and they've got a lot of athletes on defense. And in the outfield, it's anchored by Josh Reddick in center field. The infield has got the Gold Glover Altuve at second with Alex Bregman up the middle, but the veteran is in left field for a few opportunities this season.
We have to recognize Carlos Beltran out there. 7 different outfielders have started the game in left field for the Astros this season. Beltran is a 3-time Gold Glover, does most of his work as a designated hitter for the Astros. This is just his 11th start in the left field. He gets it tonight, and you have to recognize him. He's been a great player.
For a long time indeed. So we are set. Morton will work quickly. Bautista is in the box, and here's the first pitch of the game. It is in there for a strike, and we are underway. Jose 1 for 4 last night. In fact, that he was 1 for 5 last night. Sinking fastball hit on the ground. J.D. Davis makes a play, and it's going to be an infield hit. Davis making his first big league start at third base. He was just called up, rejoined the ball club, coming up from AAA.
Tested early. That's what you're going to get with Charlie Morton. You will get a lot of ground balls when he is on the mound. Davis is going to start deep with Bautista at the plate, so he's got a long way to go. Really no chance to get Jose. His last 3 hits now for Jose have all been infield hits. Davis, welcome to the big leagues.
Well, they got that first play out of the way quickly. First batter of the ball game hits it to the rookie. So Bautista's aboard for Russell Martin. I mentioned Russell hit a home run last night in the 5th inning. Morton comes with a first pitch strike. Russell for the season hitting .229 with 12 homers and 27 RBI. Popped up. White, the first baseman, in foul ground, makes the catch. Martin's retired.
Well, Charlie Morton's going to cut the ball at times. He's got a great changeup, but his bread and butter pitch has been his curveball. Been more of a power pitcher this year than he has been in the past. His fastball strikeouts are up this year, striking out almost a battered inning, something a little bit different than he did when he was a younger player.
Yeah, he was never much of a strikeout pitcher. That's changed this season for him. Here is Josh Donaldson. Josh was 0 for 4 last night. Goes after the first pitch. 246, 13 and 35 for the third baseman. Just his 67th game of the season. This season came to a screeching halt early in April with that calf injury. He missed 38 games.
Yeah, he was fighting it early. Remember, he didn't have a spring training. Played the last week of spring training.
Look where Beltran is positioned. I mean, he's got to be 120 feet off the foul line. They have that scoreboard out there, so he figures anything over the scoreboard I'm going to get anyway. It's going to be a double, but he's trying to cut off the balls that are hitting that gap.
I talked to Tim Leeper, the outfield coach for the Blue Jays, and that's exactly what he told me. I asked him about the left fielders here that the Blue Jays were going to do. He said, we will copy what the Astros would do, where we will put our left fielder. They want to worry about that corner, right where it says 362.
And the ball is drilled to center field. Reddick is back at the wall. This ball's off the wall. Bautista's headed for third. He's getting the wave home. Here's the relay throw, and they overthrow the cutoff man, and the Blue Jays have the first inning run. Donaldson making another bid for a first inning home run. Missed it by about 3 feet. Dead center, his 14th double of the season, and Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead.
Hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. All over this pitch from Morton. It's elevated, and Josh feels like this ball is going to go out, and it almost did. The Blue Jays got a run when Reddick bobbled the ball off the wall. Got a little bit too close to the wall, ricocheted off the wall, and then, you're right, overthrew the cutoff man. Blue Jays score first tonight.
409 feet away to dead center, and Donaldson has put the Blue Jays out on top 1-0. Justin Smoke takes a breaking ball for a strike. Smoke still over 300 with 31 homers and 74 RBIs. Another breaking ball.
Blue Jays saw a good breaking ball last night from Brad Peacock. Pitch that he really just learned this year, at sweeping breaking ball, and Charlie Morton's got the same type of breaking ball.
Oh, 0-2. Inside with the fastball, he pushed him off the plate. Smoke's offensive numbers, many of them career highs across the board. Home runs, RBIs, runs scored, hits. Another breaking ball pulled on the ground. Altuve from the outfield grass goes in. On the plate, Donaldson goes to third base, but there are 2 outs. Hendrys Morales will step in the box last night with a man aboard in the 4th inning. Morales connected off Brad Peacock.
This was a long at-bat for Morales, and he saw everything that Peacock had to offer. Like he was trying to backdoor a breaking ball, but Hendrys, he's been around a long time. He gets that. He saw it immediately, and that home run got the Blue Jays back into the game early.
Blue Jays hit 3 home runs off Brad Peacock. There's another breaking ball. This one's hit on the ground. Bregman on the second base side of the back. He ties Morales, but the Blue Jays take advantage of a couple of hits. Josh Donaldson with an RBI double. Donaldson hit one high off the wall in center field, and Bautista comes in to score. Donaldson thought he got enough for another first inning home run, but it's enough to give the Blue Jays the lead. lead in the American League West Division. They're up 15 games. They have won 70 games so far. Derek Fisher, the rookie, top of the order. Then Jose Altuve. He did not play in the game last night. Over his last 24 games, his numbers are ridiculous. You can take any 24 games of the season. They're going to be just about the same for Altuve. He is that consistent. 16 extra base hits in his last 24 games. And then Yuli Gurriel. Tonight he's the DH. He's put up big numbers against the Blue Jays, including a home run last night. So this is a tough opponent for Marco Estrada.
23rd start of the season for Marco. He's 4-7 with a .519 earned run average. He pitched 7 innings last time out against Chicago. That's the 5th time that Marco has done that this season, and he had to win with the Blue Jays lost a late lead. So now Marco has not won in his past 11 starts, but he pitched much better. He had a good fastball and a good changeup, and basically that's all he threw in that start against the White Sox.
Misses with the first pitch to Fisher. There's a strike. It's 1-1. Just 15 games so far for Derek Fisher, but he's already pounded out 3 home runs and driven in 9. Remember, this team was without Altuve, Springer, and Correa last night for the first time since 2014. None of those 3 played in the game for the Astros. A.J. Hinch has a deep roster, and he's put together a team of versatile players that can play all over the diamond, and that gives him a lot of flexibility from night to night.
Probably the most interchangeable team in the American League, if not all of baseball. That he can start one guy one day at this position, he can put him at that position, he can bring this guy off the bench. He says it. He says, I've got a lot of depth and I've got a lot of athletes on my team.
3-1 to the leadoff man. Leadoff walk. Fisher takes ball 4. Defensively for the Blue Jays, Pierce, Pilar, and Bautista in the outfield. Barney is at second, Smokes at first, and Russell Martin making his 64th appearance behind the plate.
And kudos to Ryan Goins. Yesterday had a big game, a couple of hits, a home run, 3 RBIs, some nice defensive plays, and he's just right back at home. Didn't he get his first big league hit right here in this ballpark?
He sure did. He had a big game last night, including a 3-run home run.
Playing some great defense for the Blue Jays at shortstop.
So here is Jose Altuve. We mentioned over his last 24 games, he's hitting a cool .481. Altuve is one of the reasons baseball is such a beautiful game. He's 5'6", 5'7", maybe. He's leading the league in hitting, leading the league in hits. He can steal bases, and he plays great defense. Here he gets fooled on that changeup, and Hughes went off the end of the bat to smoke.
Yeah, and don't let his size fool you. He can juice a baseball if you make a mistake. This time Marco Estrada gets the best of him by using that great changeup. Hughes it right off the end of the bat. Ball just doesn't get there. Marco in that last start did not throw a cutter and threw maybe 1 curveball. He was telling me afterwards, he said, you know what, I felt so good with my fastball and so good with my changeup. Why change? He kept using it very effectively for 7 innings.
Josh Reddick takes the first pitch upstairs. That was the fastball. Reddick just 0 for 2 against Estrada, hitting .311 for the season. Josh had a couple of hits, actually had 3 hits and a walk in last night's game. He was 3 for 4 in that ballgame, scored a pair of runs. He got a big hit in the first inning last night, a 2-out single to the left side of the infield. That set the table for the Gurriel home run.
For the Astros to score first, he can hit the ball where it's pitched. He can handle lefties too.
This is a high, deep drive to right. Bautista at the wall. He is there, jumps, and it's gone. Josh connects for his 11th home run of the season. And the Astros have taken the lead.
Sixth game this year against the Astros, and the Blue Jay pitchers have given up 18 home runs to them. Just like last night, a home run in the first inning gives them the lead. That pitch up and away, and Reddick, his 11th. He's over 300. What a nice little sign that the Astros picked up. They signed him. He's become a team leader.
They were criticized for signing Reddick to that big contract, a $50 million contract. And many of the people on the outside said you're paying $50 million for a platoon player. A.J. Hinch told us today, no, we're paying $50 million for a matchup player. They really read the matchups of the opposing pitcher, and they match up Reddick and put him in these situations where he is most suited to succeed.
And he's not a platoon player. Like I said, he can handle left-handed pitching.
You mentioned the 18 home runs now in 6 games. The Blue Jays have surrendered 18 home runs to the Yankees in 10 games. And the Astros, they have really hit home runs at a historic pace against the Blue Jays this season. So Reddick with his 11th. Gurriel goes after that pitch. It's 2-2 now.
That's where his changeup has to be. Marco was saying after that last game, he said, I wanted to make my changeup look like a fastball. And you do that by keeping the ball down. Right there. He'll get a lot of swings and misses if he keeps it down.
Our fastball is fouled out of play. The Astros have really worn out the Blue Jays pitching in these 5 games coming into this game. As a team, they've hit .353 against the Blue Jays. And they have averaged 10.6 runs per game. Good fastball, and Gurriel strikes out 2 away.
Team that doesn't strike out a lot, but he set him up with the changeup, and he blew the fastball by him.
They mentioned those numbers and how lopsided they are offensively. With all that being said, the Astros have won just 3 of the 5 games they have played. So Blue Jays are hanging in there with them. Carlos Beltran, the veteran, lays off that first pitch. Blue Jays playing in the exaggerated shift as Beltran takes ball 2 down the stairs.
Marco's not really a ground ball type of pitcher. There's the shift right there. He's a fly ball type of pitcher. But the infield reflects that they're going to pull that off-speed pitch.
This is an earlier start time than normal. And you can see the shadows and how they have come through the glass out in left field. The entire left side of this field is just glass, the sun shining through, creating all sorts of challenges to the hitters.
The ball almost becomes like a strobe light coming in there as you try to hit it through the shadows and the panes of that glass. Got to really concentrate early on here.
It's out of play. Beltran, what a player he has been, and he really established himself as a big-time player the first time he was here in Houston. He was traded mid-season from the Kansas City Royals, and this time he strikes out. A couple of strikeouts in the inning, but Josh Reddick hits a 2-run home run, and the Astros after 1 of a 2-1 lead.
Those fans who honored Jeff Bagwell for his induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, it was back in 1990 that the Astros traded Larry Anderson for Bagwell. And at his induction speech, Bagwell told a pretty funny story about the trade. He said that every time he saw Anderson after that, Anderson would always say to him that you got to pick it up. Nobody is talking about you anymore. Get your game going. Well, in his induction speech, Bagwell couldn't help himself. He said, "So I did the best I can. I played my entire career, Larry, and I'm here. Is that good enough for you? Is that enough props?" Guys, I think his career turned out just fine.
Yeah, it sure did. Larry Anderson, of course, broadcaster for the Phillies, has got a great sense of humor, and he was always talking about Bagwell. You know, Bagwell, you got to do a little bit more. You were traded for me.
You know, I made you a star. 15 seasons for Bagwell. His team's got the playoffs 6 times. I think that tells it all right there.
449 home runs for Bagwell. Morton misses with the first pitch to Pierce. Steve Pierce, the left fielder. He's hit well against Morton in the past. He's 4 for 5 in limited at-bats. Pierce was 1 for 3 with a walk in last night's game.
I don't know if he's faced this Charlie Morton, who's throwing a lot harder. He's averaging 96 miles an hour on his fastball. He wasn't nearly that when he was with the Pirates. Throwing a little bit harder, so his strikeouts are up. He ranks 8th among American League pitchers in strikeouts per 9 innings.
A little bit too long for Pierce's liking, so he asked for time. Morton was originally drafted by the Atlanta Braves in 2002. He went from Atlanta to Pittsburgh. Inside again. He spent 7 years with the Pirates. 2016, he was injured most of the season. He made just 4 starts for the Philadelphia Phillies. He had a hamstring problem that basically kept him out the entire year. But the Astros, as Pat mentioned, signed him as a free agent on November 16th this past offseason. Ball 4 low. Leadoff walk. Well, they honored Jeff Bagwell and celebrated his induction to the Baseball Hall of Fame earlier tonight before this ball game began. And when you go back and look at his career, 15 seasons playing with the Astros. OPS, he was 20th all time. He could do a lot of things offensively, hit home runs. He was a good base runner, and he was very patient. 14th all time on base percentage. And we look at 6 consecutive seasons with 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, 100 runs scored, and 100 walks. I mean, that is a consummate all-around player.
He's the only player in history to have 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, runs scored, and walks.
Ryan Goins drops down a beauty. A beautiful bunt as Goins killed it on the grass. McCann's throw not nearly in time at first. And the Blue Jays have runners at first and second, nobody out.
They've kept the pressure on today and yesterday. Goins, even with the infield in, a perfect drag bunt. Keeps it fair, no chance for the third baseman to make that play. And by the time McCann gets to it, he's not going to be able to make it. That's a bunt base hit.
So Goins, who had a big night last night with a pair of home runs, including a 3-run home run, starts his night off with a bunt base hit. Now Kevin Pillar's batting in the 8th spot. I just got to wonder if they're going to ask him to bunt in this situation. Corner infielders for the Astros, right on the edge of the grass, not really guarding against the bunt. No signs of a bunt, and Pillar takes inside for ball 1.
I think when you play the Houston Astros, you have to outslug them. You can't play for a 1-run here or 1-run there. You got to play for the big inning. Their offense is so good. I think you have to go toe-to-toe with them. John Gibbons knows that. He's got 2 runners on. He's playing for the big inning.
Ball inside as Pilar fouls it off. It's 1-1. As Pat mentioned, Morton pitched against the Blue Jays on the 7th of July at Rogers Center. Came out a winner. Picked up his 6th win of the season. 12-2 Houston win. Morton threw 6 innings, allowed a hit, 4 hits, and just 1 single run. Staying inside on Pilar. Pat, you mentioned Morton has developed a new breaking ball, and it's something that we saw from Peacock last night. It's proved to be pretty effective.
It's like a sweeping type of breaking ball that Luke Gregerson taught Peacock at the beginning of this year, and he's 10-1 now this year. Morton trying to win his 10th game of the season. It's a sweeping type of breaking ball.
Boy, look at that bunch of pitches down and in, 94 miles an hour, and Pilar strikes out.
This team, the Houston Astros, do a lot of work analyzing how they're going to pitch players and hitters, and there's no question that the matchup between Morton and Pilar, it's going to be fastballs or something inside. They don't think he can get around, or they don't want him to extend his arms on that pitch, so they stayed inside.
1 out now with Darwin Barney, the hitter. Barney batting 9th in this Blue Jays lineup. You make an interesting statement about the Astros, and we spoke to the manager, A.J. Hinch. He said there's always been this age-old argument. You go with the pitcher's strength, or do you attack a batter's weakness? He said we're trying to balance that out, and we evaluate both as we put together our game plan.
It's all about matchups. Do the matchups work? Does Morton's breaking ball match up with the hitters at the plate, or does his sinker match up? So they try to marry those two concepts. One thing that you can see right away is the Houston Astros play one of the shallowest outfields in baseball. I feel like they could take away a lot of hits, line drives into the outfield. It's going to be tough for him to score a run here if Barty gets
a promising start to this inning with a leadoff walk and a bunt base hit. There's a little flare that's going to drop. Pierce got a good read. Here's the throw from Reddick. They stop Pierce at third. Pierce read it perfectly. Reddick, a former Gold Glove winner, charged it. And they stop Pierce at third base. So the bases are loaded. Barney delivers a 2-strike base hit to center.
And that's why they play the outfield shallow. So you can run prevent. Darwin Barty making contact and just pushing that ball into the outfield. Good approach right there against that breaking ball. Reddick with 5 outfield assists. You're not going to run on him. Not with the lineup being turned over. So the Blue Jays have the bases loaded and just 1 out.
Back to the top of the order, Jose Bautista had an infield hit. He came around to score on the Donaldson double. Ground ball. Davis at third. He forgot there was a double play situation. The rookie playing in his first big league game caught the ball and then remembered, oh, I got to play at second. But then by that time it was too late. Bautista's thrown out at first. Pierce comes in to tie the game.
Boy, what a break the Blue Jays get. That looked like a double play ball. He was very aggressive, the third baseman, on that ball, and picked a very tough ball. But then momentarily forgot how many outs there were. There was a hesitation right there. Where should I throw it? And then he ends up just tossing it across the diamond to get the out. He had time right there. If he goes right away to second, he's got a chance to turn a double play.
It's a 2-2 game. Russell Martin fouls back the first pitch. Runners at second and third. Blue Jays really got a chance to make it a big inning. J.D. Davis making his first start at third base. Hesitated when he looked at second and had to go to first to get Bautista. And the chance to end the inning with a double play.
I wonder if Goins, who was running from second to third might have blocked his vision just for a second. And that's where the hesitation came in. We had that one shot from the third base camera of him picking the ball, and then right in his sight lines, Ryan was right there. Right there. There's Goins. And by then it's too late.
I think he forgot that he had a double play. First he looked to first, then he realized, no, I got to play at second, and it was too late by then.
Well, now the Blue Jays have to make it really hurt.
Charlie Morton reaching back for a little extra. 98 miles an hour, but he missed away. Martin swings and misses. McCann knocks it down, throws to first to finish the strikeout. A breaking ball in the dirt. McCann staying on it. The Blue Jays get a run. Bautista with a ground out RBI. It's 2-2 as we head to the bottom of the second.
And enter the code MBJ2785 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching the broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. Code must be entered by 4 a.m. Guys.
Thank you very much, Sean. Blue Jay fans always in attendance. Doesn't make any difference where we are playing. And there's a lot of fans here at Minute Maid Park tonight. Good crowd all weekend long. They plan for a packed house every night. This is what they have characterized as the Jeff Bagwell Hall of Fame weekend.
Nice ceremony. Got to see Phil Gardner. Lance Berkman was in the house. There he is, the man of the hour.
He is joining the TV crew here on the Astros broadcast. This is Alex Bregman, who's playing shortstop. Bregman filling in for the injured Carlos Correa. Bregman making just his 9th start of the season at short, but he's a natural shortstop. That was his position in college. That changeup goes all the way back to the backstab. It's 1-1.
There were a couple of keys to Marco's last outing that he said he was trying to incorporate into that start, and it all has to do with his mechanics as there's a ball still on the field. He was talking about his front side, the glove hand. He said, I really started getting the ball, my glove up, and that really allowed me to stay on top of the ball just a little bit more. He said my arm swing was really good. It wasn't side to side like he was swinging it towards first base. He was swinging it towards home plate, and that kept him on target and on line.
When you get too much rotation in your delivery, obviously you'll pull you offline. I mean, pitching is not that much different than golf. So much of your success has to do with your alignment. If you're not lined up correctly, you're going to miss the strike zone.
And his key is that front side with the arm. You see how the arm went up?
It's a high fly ball into shallow right. Bautista over near the foul line. He is there, and Bregman is retired. One away.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful afternoon. Early start here in Houston, about an hour earlier than the normal start time. And with that, there's some unusual shadows on the field. But so far, it hasn't seemed to affect the hitters. We've had a home run already. The two clubs have combined to score 4 runs. McCann, it's a high fly ball to right. Bautista's at the track. He's got room. It's going to stay in the yard. McCann just missed it. 2 outs. Let's check in with Hazel May. James Shields continues to have problems giving up home runs. Drew Pomeranz is on the mound for the Red Sox. Last night, Mitch Moreland had a walk-off hit, and the Red Sox won it in 11. Here's the rookie, J.D. Davis, just called up today. He began his season in Double-A, had 21 home runs in Double-A and 5 more in Triple-A. Just 16 games of AAA experience, and he's got big power.
Big power. 3 seasons ago, he hit 26 home runs. Last year, he had 23. He's up to 26 again. 422 games, 88 home runs in the minor leagues. And yeah, he's got a lot of power. They just keep bringing him up from this farm system. Difference makers, everyday players who can really play. This is his first big league at bat.
The changeup had him out in front. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the second. It's a 2-2 game. There's the fastball. Estrada with his 3rd strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. Estrada has retired 5 in a row after the Braddock home run in the 1st. Marco getting zeroed in on that strike zone. It's the fastball to the outside corner for the strikeout. in the first inning. He'll lead things off for the Jays here in the third inning. Then he'll be followed by Smoke, Morales, and Pierce. And they have been effective since the All-Star break, putting up big offensive numbers.
These four players have been back to back to back, and they've really started putting up some numbers. Make a very tough matchup for the opposition. You got a couple of switch hitters in Smoke and Morales. You got a former MVP in Josh Donaldson, and then Steve Pierce gets to clean all that up by hitting fourth after those guys. What you want to do if you're a manager, you want to see who's hot on your team and then bunch them all together.
Donaldson hits this one right to the shortstop. Eggman has it. One away. Charlie Morton's using that fastball inside very effectively. Struck out Kevin Pillar in the second inning. He had Russell Martin on a breaking ball, big sweeping breaking ball, but it was after establishing that fastball inside.
That's the best place to throw the fastball, especially this time of the day, and how hard he throws. This is a good hitter's ballpark, I think, if you can pull the ball down the lines. Well, the best way to keep people from pulling the ball is jam them. Throw the ball inside.
Yeah, it's really interesting because that used to be the opposite. You'd pitch guys inside and they'd pull it. But now, because of all the splits and the change-ups and the balls going away from hitters, they've become very good out over the plate. And those are the balls they hit to their power side because they extend their arms and they pull the ball to the power side when they can extend out over the plate.
I'd rather see them pull the ball foul by pitching him inside. They just can't extend and get good wood on the ball.
Well, that's a very effective pitch, and that's a lot like the pitch we saw last night from Peacock. It's kind of a flat slider, but because it breaks so much, it starts off the plate and breaks all the way off the plate inside. There it is again. Morton kind of patted himself after Roy Halladay a bit. He had an overhand curveball, much like Halladay early in his career. He threw hard, but he wasn't enjoying any success. Early in 2010, he was 1-9 after 10 starts. And there's another breaking ball for the strikeout. That's 3 strikeouts so far for Morton.
Well, get to that. Get used to that. They're going to be throwing him a lot of breaking balls. He spent some time on the disabled list this season, Charlie Morton, but since he has come off that DL, how about this 5 July starts for him? He's 4-1 with 325 earned run average. I told you that opponent's batting average of 165, the lowest in the American League. Keeps the ball down, moves the ball around the strike zone, and he can punch you out. He's got 3 of them already tonight.
He works quickly as well. I think that's something that has also helped him, keeping the pressure on the hitters. Kendrys Morales grounded out into the shift his first time up.
His career high in wins is just 10. That they saw something in him. Career high wins in a season. That was 2011. But the Astros saw something in him and said, you know what, this is a guy is a good fit for our team. Look at that 10th season in the big leagues. He's 20 games under 500. Yet he's pitching some great baseball here.
Well, you put him in a good situation with a good defensive ball club, and you know, you look at the metrics and say, well, they're not that really good metrically, but they have good players. They cover a lot of ground. They have a good catcher in Brian McCann, and he has flourished here with Houston.
Always thought his stuff was really good. He just needed to play on a good team and stay healthy, and he should have a good season.
We mentioned his first season in the big leagues was with the Atlanta Braves in 2008. He was 4-8 in 15 starts. Sharply hit. Bregman playing in the shift makes another good play. Scooped by White at first. The shift has gotten Morales twice so far tonight. The Astros use a lot of shifts, but they're simply trying to get a lot of outs.
Carlos Ramirez James to outshine legends like Federer and Nadal in Montreal, while Jeannie Bouchard battles a field featuring Venus Williams in Toronto. All the action begins August 7th on Sportsnet.
It's always a great event for sure. As Sean mentioned, the women this year in Toronto. The men are in Montreal. Marco Estrada's in Houston. And it's a 2-2 game. 9-1-2 for the Astros. Tyler White, boy, what a night he had last night. He was 4 for 5. He drove in 5 runs, and he had a pair of home runs. He had an RBI double, an RBI single, a 2-run home run, and a solo home run. Pretty good night.
It felt like that was a good matchup for him. He's a low ball hitter. Cesar Valdez yesterday started for the Blue Jays. Sinker slider type of player, keeps the ball down. So they thought it was a good matchup, and it worked. He became the 6th player to drive in at least 5 runs for the Astros this season.
Yeah, they have a balanced attack for sure. And the only other team this season that has 6 players with 5 RBIs in a game, the Texas Rangers. George Springer has had 2 5 RBI games. He is anxious to get back on the active roster. We talked to him today, and he expects to be activated Tuesday after the off day. Let's go back and look at the home run swings of Tyler White from a night ago.
Yeah, he is a little bit like tonight's Jeff Bagwell, who they're honoring. He hits from a low crouch and really gets his legs into it. Shows off some power. This one off of J.P. Howe deep to left field. He's a first baseman. And there goes another one.
There goes another one indeed. Tyler White up onto the tracks. He had 2 last night. He's got 1 in his first at bat here tonight. Second home run for the Astros tonight. Houston continues to feast on Blue Jays pitching. It's the 19th home run they have hit in 6 games.
Jose Altuve getting a little bit of a lesson right there from Tyler White. Say, hey, what'd you hit there? Again, another good matchup for the Astros, a low ball hitter. This ball is right there, and he hits it hard to left field. They thought so much of Tyler White that they sent their backup first baseman, who was here yesterday, A.J. Reed, down to the minor leagues to bring up D.J. Davis. Tyler White's going to make him forget about anybody else over at first.
Yeah, they won't even consider anybody else. He keeps swinging the bat line crap. So Houston has retaken the lead here. It's 3-2 Astros. Back to the top of the order. Derek Fisher walked to start his evening, and he scored on the Reddick home run.
Most home runs in the majors.
Fisher strikes out. He got handcuffed with that high fastball. That's 4 strikeouts for Estrada. First out of the inning. So that'll bring Jose Altuve to the plate, and he is very popular here in Houston. You take a look at the 3-hit game since 2014, and look at the lead he has over the next closest hitter. 88-65 over D. Gordon. 88 games with 3 or more hits since 2014.
He's got great hand-eye coordination. He can really take the barrel of the bat to any pitch.
It's a high fly ball. That's going to be out of play into the seats.
Remember the old baseball saying, he can get wood on a bullet? I think this guy can get wood on a bullet because his hands are so quick. And he can hit any pitch, any type of pitch, thrown anywhere, and hit it hard. Remember, he only played in 3 of the 4 games back at Rogers Center. He got 3 hits in each game.
This is a fly ball to center. Pilar's got a beat on it. He makes the catch. Altuve is 0 for 2 so far tonight. So here is Josh Reddick. He got things going for Houston in the first inning with a 2-run home run. Reddick is one of 3 veteran players the Astros brought in the offseason to add a presence, according to A.J. Hinch, the manager. He said, we had a good team, we got good players, we got a lot of leadership, but we needed a presence. We needed some veteran experience, guys that have played in the postseason before. Reddick, McCann, and Beltran bring that to this ball club.
Brings that intensity every day. You can see it in his face when he stands up there. They have Kangaroo Court. Heard today that he's their bailiff. So don't mess around in Kangaroo Court with the Houston Astros. They're going to have to deal with Josh Reddick.
Now, the judge is Brian McCann, and they got the robe and the wig and the gavel and all that stuff, and they don't mess around. They've even fined the manager this year. Donaldson into foul ground. He is there, and that'll end the inning. But the Astros take the lead. Number 9 hitter Tyler White hit 2 home runs last night. He takes this ball down out over the plate and hits it deep up over the seats in left field. The Astros have a 3-2 lead. Activated off the DL on the 7th of July, and the numbers are quite dramatically different. Pre-injury, post-injury, he's been a much better pitcher since he's been off the DL.
That first start was against the Blue Jays back at Rogers Center. He's won 4 of his 5 starts since coming off the disabled list, and the ERA has gone down 3.23 since that injury. Hey, he's healthy. He's able to finish his pitches, get out there, make pitches, throwing a little bit harder. He beat the Blue Jays in Minnesota, Philadelphia, and Tampa. His only loss since coming off the DL was at Seattle, or versus Seattle.
They were 4 runs on 6 hits to the Mariners in that 4-1 loss. That was on the 19th of July. Bouncing ball, that's a foul ball. For the Blue Jays here in the 4th, it's Pierce, Goins, and Pelant. Pierce walked in the 2nd. He drew the leadoff walk and scored on the ground ball off the bat of Jose Bautista. Stays on that outside pitch. We mentioned the Astros. They've won 3 of the 5 games these 2 teams have played. But if you looked at the offensive numbers for Houston, you would expect it to be much worse than that for the Blue Jays.
There's been some blowouts, and that's treating it mildly. The Astros versus the Blue Jays.
There's that wicked breaking ball as Pierce strikes out. That's strikeout number 4 for Charlie Morton. And bring up Ryan Goins. He has a bunt single already tonight, but last night he did some long distance swinging.
You know, there's nothing like coming to your home park, if you will, and doing something like this. Magical. Drops that ball right into the bullpen of the Astros, and he can break it down and get into that home run trot. Ryan had a 3-run home run. He also had another hit in last night's game. There's something about him that his eyes light up when there are runners on base.
He's had a good season all year long in picking up RBIs. He has 39 RBIs. That's the 4th highest total on the Blue Jays. He has made the most of his hits. He's averaged now at 216 for the season. Of course, Smoke leads the Blue Jays with 74 RBIs. Morales has 59. Bautista has 45, and then Goins with 39.
And 250 at bats.
Of course, Tulowitzki has been out. He missed 31 games early. Donaldson missed 38 games. Tulowitzki's in a cast. No telling if he'll make it back this season, and in all likelihood he won't. He has torn ligaments in his ankle, so for when he tripped over the bag at first.
So Ryan will get the lion's share of the work at shortstop, and when you play every day, you get a chance to get some consistent at bats. You're going to be able to lay off some of those tough pitches, and he's laid off some tough borderline pitches this at bat. He's got himself into a fastball count, 3-1.
Tries a bunt again as they were playing him deep in the shift, and he had a great opportunity, but just was a little bit late and bunted it foul.
They were in. The third baseman Davis was in until the count became 3-1. Then he pushed back over to the shortstop. Goins picked up on that, and all he has to do is just get the ball by the pitcher.
So now it's a 3-2 count with 1 out. Morton strikes him out. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 4th for Charlie Morton.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. It's the best time to find a Honda you'll love.
Lots of history here in Houston. A lot of great players over the years. And before the game tonight, Jeff Bagwell was celebrated for his Hall of Fame induction in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Kevin Pillar called out on strikes back in the 2nd. There are similarities to Morton's delivery and that of Roy Halladay. He pumps his hands and comes set right about belt high, and then tucks his shoulder and really kind of hides the ball. Difficult for hitters to pick it up. Pillar bounces it to third. Davis has got a strong arm and throws him out. Charlie Morton has a clean inning in the top of the 4th. 3 up, 3 down. Houston with a 3-2 lead.
Already on Friday, August 11th. Join us on our outdoor patio at gates 10 and 11 for a pre-game DJ showcase featuring Jed Harper, DJ Deluxe, and your boy Brian. The patio opens at 4:30, and you can get your tickets at bluejays.com, guys.
Thank you very much, Sean. I was a little hesitant to comment after that. I was just enamored with this helmet full of nachos and nonsense.
Do you get to keep the helmet? I hope so. If you eat that whole helmet full of nachos and cheese and everything.
How about that?
Yeah, soft cream. Yeah.
I mean, that is the...
I can't go there.
Oh, my God. Just a little extra mayonnaise on it. How about that? That ought to last you about an inning and a half or two.
Every time we come to Texas, you get these giant meals. Like they say, everything's bigger in Texas.
This is Yuli Gurriel. He struck out in the first.
Doesn't strike out very often. Doesn't walk very often. Had 2 walks last night. He's up to 11 this year.
Gurriel has 11 walks and 44 strikeouts. On base percentage .321 for the season. He's had 30 doubles and 14 home runs.
Swing.
The high fly into the seats down the right side.
He has the highest percentage of pitches put in play in the American League. 25% of the pitches in play. So he is up there swinging. He's not looking to walk.
No, he is not looking to walk, obviously. He started playing in the Series Nacional in Cuba, the professional league, Cuban National Series, and as a 17-year-old, he hit 300 as a 17-year-old.
I believe it. I mean, he just looks like a hitter up there. He's like winding up and just ready to uncoil if a pitch is close.
Smoke takes the high chopper, and Gurriel is going to be retired. Gurriel makes the first out at the bottom of the 4th. A couple of home runs in this ball game. The difference: a 2-run home run by Braddock in the first, a solo shot by Tyler White in the third. Houston has a 3-2 lead. Carlos Beltran, 20th season, 280 career average. He is 40 years old. It's just in the air into shallow center field. Barney calls for it, makes the catch out in the outfield. So 2 quick outs here in the 4th.
Starting to see both of these pitchers starting to settle in just a little bit. Marco was saying the biggest thing that he had in his last start was he was able to keep his changeup down. He was able to command that changeup. I'm going to throw this ball out of play. Not real happy with this one. But when you do that, you keep the ball down and you can command your changeup. You're going to get a lot of outs. You're going to get a lot of pop-ups too. He says when I see the team starting to pop the ball up, he goes, I know I'm close.
Alex Bregman takes the first pitch strike. Estrada went 7 innings, allowed a single run on 4 hits, ended up with a no decision in his last start Monday in Chicago. That was against the White Sox. Bregman lines it to left, and there's that positioning. They had their left fielder well off the line. Steve Pearce set up perfectly to make that catch. Bregman's retired. We'll go to the 5th. Astros have a 3-2 lead. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Hazel May with Greg Zahn from the Samsung Broadcast Studio.
company as much as dog owners care about puppies. Puppy. Book now at westjet.com. Guys, this show has puppies, nachos, everything you want.
Everything, Sean. Great job, pal. Well, we move to the 5th, and the pitchers have settled down indeed, as Pat mentioned. Charlie Morton has retired 8 in a row. Something's going on behind home plate. Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire, talking to the Astros bench, and whatever it is, he's satisfied it's been taken care of.
Yeah, he alerted both benches. He said something to John Gibbons in the Blue Jays and A.J. Hinch in the Astros. Just alerting him to something.
Darwin Barney, he's got his second hit in as many at-bats. He jumped on that first pitch from Charlie Morton. Both of his hits going to center field, so it's a leadoff single for the Blue Jays' second baseman, Darwin Barney.
Barney was just 1 for 10 against Charlie Morton coming into this game, but he gets a fastball center cut. He's not waiting around. He rips that ball into center field.
Yeah, that is that old philosophy. Hey, make him throw a few pitches. Hey, the first one you see might be the best one, so let her rip. Bautista is 1 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI. He singled and scored on the Donaldson double. Jose scored all the way from first base. That was in the first inning.
And then he was the benefactor of a ground ball that he hit to the third baseman. He double clutched just a little bit, eventually recorded an out over to first base, but Jose would pick up that RBI on the ground out.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. Right back with the same pitch, strike 2.
In a perfect position, down and away. You might see Jose now with 2 strikes, try and fight balls off and shoot it through the right side. They are holding the runner on. Altuve is playing up the middle. There's a huge hole on the right side.
There's that big sweeping breaking ball. That's 6 strikeouts for Morton. His strikeout ratio has improved dramatically this season.
He's up to almost 10 per 9 innings with pitches like this, sweeping down and away. If you've got fastball on your mind and you got fastball and you see it, you start your swing and then realize that thing is going to go off the plate. You end up swinging and missing. He's had a strikeout in every inning but the first.
Russell Martin's got a 5-game hit streak. Hit and run is on. Martin hits it to the third baseman, Davis. Russell's retired. Barney moved to second. Hit and run was on, and that ball was inside. Martin grounded it to the third baseman.
Well, you hope that you find a hole when you start the runner like that. Again, Don Gibbons and the Blue Jays know they're going to have to outslug this team. You got to score a lot of runs, so you got to keep the pressure on. You hope that you can find a hole as you get some of those infielders moving around, and at the very least, you make contact. Now you got Josh Donaldson coming up with a runner in scoring position.
Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire, wanted to look at that baseball. Morton didn't want to give it up. Nowadays, you see any kind of ball that's hit, fair ball, ground ball, anything, they throw it out again. So almost every baseball that's put in play is pristine.
I think Josh asked the home plate umpire to take a look at that ball.
What are some of the concerns a hitter might have about asking to see the ball?
Well, like you said, it might be scuffed just a little bit, and you get a little bit more movement. There might be some dirt on the side. And then when he throws his breaking ball, you can't pick up the breaking ball. You see the dirt, the dark side.
2-0 to Donaldson. That breaking ball missed outside. Josh is 1 for 2. Josh has had 9 extra base hits over his last 17 games. Starting to pick up the pace in the hard hit balls.
Not another one tonight. A bullet off the center field wall.
Houston with a 3-2 lead. Blue Jays have out-hit the Astros 5-2. But both of the Astros hits have been home runs. And a breaking ball off the plate, 3-1. That reflects the fact that Josh Donaldson had missed a lot of time. He was out 38 games early in the season. That's why he's 5th on that RBI list for the Blue Jays. He takes another walk. So Justin Smoke will step up. Smokey so far tonight 0 for 2 with a strikeout, but he's riding a pretty impressive on-base streak, a career high. 19 straight games reaching base.
Got that average over those last 19 games at 357. How about the home runs? Of course, the on-base percentage. That's the longest streak of his career. A lot of walks thrown in there also. He's been very patient. His last at bat here got a little bit swing happy and swung out a couple of pitches out of the strike zone.
That ball gets away from McCann. Looks like he was crossed up, and that may have hurt him. Boy, he's cradling his hand up against his chest protector. I think it might have caught him on the wrist.
That's going to bring the trainer out.
Yeah.
He definitely got crossed up on that one. He was looking for the local, and he got the express right off the wrist.
Well, that's a tough pass ball. He will be charged with a pass ball, but he was expecting the breaking ball and got the fastball, and it hit him right on the wrist. This is a horrible feeling, and I've experienced it. You can see where it hit him. Just below that glove. Caught him flush on the wrist. He was expecting that ball to break, and that's why he was so late making any kind of movement. And it was a fastball. It's a pass ball charged to McCann. Now there are runners at second and third for Smoke. You mentioned Smoke during that 19-game on-base streak. He has 15 walks. He's been a big part of it. It all started in the final game at Detroit against the Tigers. Last night he reached with a walk in the 4th inning. Only time he reached base.
I think he's got to be patient too. Now first base open. I think he's going to get a lot of breaking balls.
Now Charlie Morton pitches out of it. Blue Jays had runners at second and third. He drops that breaking ball on Smoke and strikes him out for a second time. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Morton leaves a pair on, and the Blue Jays continue to trail 3-2.
struggles, the Blue Jays were forced to make a move. They called up Taylor Cole from AAA Buffalo. Now, it's been an interesting year for him because of injuries. He spent some time in the Gulf Coast League High A and then AAA Buffalo. He only made 4 appearances out of the bullpen for Buffalo, giving up 0 hits and just a single walk. It does mark his very first major league call-up. He's running on fumes, though. Found out last night around midnight. Didn't get to bed till 3. He had a handful of connecting flights, running on no sleep, but a few veterans told him that's just all part of the experience.
Yeah, you don't waste any time when you're coming up from the minor leagues. When you're going down, it might take you a couple of days to get where you're going.
Do you know of any player who sleeps after he gets the call?
No. We talked to him about that, and I said, I didn't get much sleep. I said, no, you're not supposed to get much sleep. You're going to the big leagues.
Found out around midnight last night, and then it was a scramble to get here. Of course you're not supposed to get any sleep. You're too excited. You're going to be making your major league debut.
Taylor is 27 years old. He'll turn 28 in August 20th to be exact. McCann hits a high pop-up. Goins goes out and makes the catch. 1 away.
Happy 150th to our home and native land. Honda, proudly driving Canadians since 1973.
Out of downtown Houston, we're just a couple blocks away at Minute Maid Park. Beautiful ballpark. Home of the Astros. This is J.D. Davis. They're playing in his first big league game in his first day in the big leagues. He just came up from AAA. He had played 16 games at Fresno, the AAA affiliate of the Houston Astros. He actually played high school baseball with Rowdy Tellez, one of the Blue Jays farmhands that is at AAA. Davis was a year ahead of Rowdy Tellez at Elk Grove High School in California. Then he went to Cal State Fullerton. Pulls that ball on the ground. Goins. He got it and may have been distracted. Donaldson patting his chest is saying, my bad. He kind of cut in front of Goins and may have distracted Ryan.
Let's see how they score this one. If it's a hit, it looks like they're going to score it a hit, and there's his first big league base hit.
And look who picks up the baseball. Jose Altuve, and then he feigns throwing it into the bleachers, but Altuve appreciates that young man's first major league hit. Congratulations, J.D. Davis, your first big league hit. It looked like a line drive tomorrow. A 1-out single. Here is Tyler White. Blue Jays can't get him out. Well, he was on that pitch as well.
Goins has been playing some super shortstop, just out of the reach of Donaldson. And then Goins can't make the play. So it'll go as an infield hit, just the 3rd hit tonight for the Astros.
Tyler White has homered in 3 straight at-bats. That time he offered and tried to check his swing halfway through. Well, he's a low ball hitter. And the Astros thought that this was a good matchup because Estrada, not a real power pitcher, works down in the zone a lot with that changeup.
That's why I'm thinking they need to stay upstairs with that fastball. That's where they're going. Don't go down there. That's where Tyler White likes it. 5 for 6 with 3 home runs this series.
It's a pretty good series. It's a pretty good 10-game series. Staying upstairs, and he was able to foul it off.
He really sits down on his legs. You can see him get down on his legs. So he gets all of it into his whole body into that swing. Hit it up on the railroad tracks for that home run. So I think if you elevate the baseball, you get him up off his legs.
Fouled into the seats.
He looks a little bit like a cross between Evan Gattis and Jeff Bagwell up there. Both of them hunched over and on their legs, swing with all their might on every pitch. Gattis just went on the disabled list today.
He went on the 7-day concussion DL. He was hit on a backswing by Corey Dickerson on Thursday night, and they placed him on the DL. Quite a battle going on here. And how many pitches have been up to White in this at bat? Tyler White got into 86 games last year with Houston. He had 8 homers.
A lot of them early in the season, before the information got thrown around. He ended up then going back down to the minor leagues after about a month or so.
Fouls it back in our direction. This season at AAA Fresno, White hit 19 home runs. He drove in 69 runs in 91 games. Pacific Coast League always considered a hitter's league. Not a small ballpark. Some ballparks at elevation. Albuquerque's always been a hitter's ballpark.
And the ball will fly, but this guy looks like he can hit.
Nice off that high pitch. Full count, 1 out. J.D. Davis, the rookie third baseman, is at first. He picked up his first big league hit. He's running. Cut on and missed. The throw from Morton's a good one, right on the money. A strike him out, throw him out to end the inning. Russell Martin's been throwing the ball very well lately. It's a 12th base runner he has nabbed here. Strikeout for Estrada is his 5th. The throw to second to complete the double play ends the inning, and we'll go to the 6th. It's a 3-2 Houston lead.
This weekend, catch pitch-perfect football action on Sportsnet World. Tomorrow, Arsenal takes on Chelsea at Wembley Stadium in the 2017 FA Community Shield. It's all on Sportsnet World. Visit sportsnet.ca/world and subscribe today.
Big crowd on hand here tonight at Minute Maid Park. Enjoying a nice cold beer as they get back to their seats. Top of the 6th inning, Morales, Pearson, Goins for the Blue Jays. They trail by a run, 3-2 Houston. Morales and Yuli Gurriel, a chance to catch up. They're both from Cuba. They both started their professional careers playing in Cuba.
They're carrying on a long conversation today over by third base between batting practice.
Kendricks is 34. Yulieski Gurriel is 33. Kendricks played for the Industriales in Havana, played as an 18, 19, and 20-year-old, and then came to the States. As an 18-year-old, he hit .324 with 21 home runs. Again, a lot of experience early in their baseball careers. That ball is drilled to right field. But there is Derek Fisher who made the play. Ball might have got in on him a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. It got in on him. He wasn't able to get full extension on that sharp breaking ball. Charlie Morton starting to settle down.
Morton gave up a run in the first and a run in the second. 3 zeros in a row. He has one out now. Steve Pearce. Pearce 0 for 1 with a walk. Bouncing ball to third. Davis has it. He's got a strong arm. Nice play. Got a real strong arm.
You know, that's a couple of really nice in-between hops where he stays with it, gets down low to be able to make that play. He had one against Bautista earlier. Look how he stays down there with it. And then right over the top, and how accurate, right in the chest of the first baseman. Haven't seen him miss the first baseman all night tonight. Nice looking play right over the top, a lot like Scott Rowland. When Rowland would throw right over the top, and it was true right at the first baseman. A lot easier ball to catch.
2 outs. Ryan Goins is 1 for 2. Hits this ball into right. Fisher is on the run. He makes the play. Goins retired on 1 pitch. Quick inning for Charlie Morton. Retires the side in orders. We hit to the bottom of the 6th. Houston still leads it. Here tonight, just a couple of swings have produced 2 home runs for the Astros, but it's a 3-2 game. And coming into this game, his previous 2 starts, 5 innings against Oakland and 7 strong innings against the White Sox.
This is the best hitting team in the American League, and Marco is looking like the Marco from 15 and 16. He's dazzling with his fastball and his changeup. He's saying he was getting in his last start the swing and miss that I wanted off of the changeup, and he's getting that again tonight. Marco's got 5 strikeouts through 5 innings. Remember, the Astros don't strike out a lot.
That's a liner right to Bautista as Fisher hits it right on the button, but right to the right fielder. One pitch, one out here in the 6th. Well, Marco has been inconsistent. He got up to a decent start in April and May. But then, boy, the wheels fell off for him in June and July. And you saw that graphic. The league had hit .305 against Marco prior to his last 2 starts.
And he said it was all about command. He said, I tried to slow my front side down just a little bit to keep me on line. There's always that one inning that seemed to get him where he would just lose his command, lose his control, walk a few ball players, and then give up a big hit. He said, if I slow down my front side just a little bit, that helps me stay in line.
Altuve hits one a mile high on the infield. Second baseman Darwin Barney is there. Altuve is 0 for 3. And that's significant given the way he's hit the Blue Jays this season.
There's another pop-up for Estrada. When he gets his pop-up, he knows he's close. Josh Reddick in the first inning pops this one out of here. That's his 11th home run after a walk to Fisher. This 2-run home run put the Astros in front early, 2-1. They would hit another home run, and that's where we are right now. It's 3-2.
The Astros have hit 19 home runs against the Blue Jays. This is the 6th game these 2 teams have played. 19 home runs. They hit 5 last night. They won 16-7 last night. They had 16 runs on 18 hits and 5 home runs. So here is Reddick, 1 for 2 with that long homer. Josh is in his 9th big league season. Came up for the first time with the Red Sox in 2009. Spent parts of 3 seasons in Boston before he went to Oakland. He was traded by Boston for Andrew Bailey and Ryan Sweeney. At the time, Andrew Bailey was a big-time closer. Then he went from Oakland to the Dodgers with Rich Hill.
The trade deadline last year to help the Dodgers.
August 1st. Reddick takes ball 4. A 2-out walk. So Estrada not really aggressive to Reddick in that at bat, and that's just the 2nd walk this year. And I think he was more pitching around him than anything. So now he'll have a right-hander to deal with in Yuli Gurriel.
It's Gurriel, and after that quick walk, you know what Gurriel's looking for. Anything in the strike zone, first pitch.
Down and in for ball 1. Popped this one up. Goins, the shortstop, out into the outfield. He has called for it. He makes the catch. Gurriel is retired. The Astros get a 2-out walk. They leave a base runner. We have played 6 innings here in Houston. The Astros have a 3-2 lead.
presented by Boston Pizza. Join us pregame outside gates 5 and 10 for inflatable activities and lots more. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. For tickets, go to BlueJays.com.
Junior Jays Saturdays, very popular on the schedule for the Blue Jays, especially the youngsters. They get to come out, run the bases after the game. Big crowds always on hand for those Junior Jays Saturdays. The next one will feature the Pittsburgh Pirates. They'll be in town for an interleague series. 7th inning, leadoff man is Kevin Pillar. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Charlie Morton has settled down. He's allowed just 2 base runners since the 2nd inning. Pulled foul. Morton's got that pitcher's body you always look for. He's 6'5". He's got long arms and creates a lot of momentum. He uses the windup, tucks his left shoulder, kind of hides the ball very effectively.
You like those tall pitchers because they can really generate as they come down off that mound with that arm whip. It's almost like they're handing the ball to the catcher as they come driving off the mound.
A ball and 2 strikes. The leadoff man here in the 7th.
I've been impressed with his speed of his fastball. We didn't see this in his first start at Rogers Center earlier this year.
Ground ball off the glove of Davis that sneaks past him into shallow left. Bregman hustles over and retrieves it. It'll be an infield hit for Kevin Pillar, leadoff single here in the 7th.
He dove for the ball, and it took a little bit of a funny hop right when it got to his glove. Even if he comes up with it, he's not going to throw out Pillar. He tries to smother it and it bounces off of his glove. It's been busy over there at third base.
He sure has. He got a tough play in the first at bat of the ball game, and an infield hit for Bautista. Made a good play, but just didn't have time to throw out Jose. Heads up for the hit and run here. Darwin Barney's 2 for 2. Pillar's a good runner at first.
They like to go early in the count. We've seen the Blue Jays hit and run with a first pitch. We've also seen them hit 1-0, 2-1.
The Astros have a very experienced coaching staff. Richie Dower is on the top step. He's really keeping a close eye on Lurie Rivera, the third base coach. Dower, a former big league second baseman, so he knows all about what to look for in these situations. Chris Davinsky, the all-star relief pitcher, starting to loosen up for Houston. Pillar has to hustle back after Morton comes to first.
Gets back easily without having to dive in, so he's got a hit and run lead, if you will. That's not a steal lead.
Diving back in that time. He looks like he wants to run.
Yeah, he looked a little jittery over there, like he was jumpy, like he wanted to go. That's why he had to dive back. He can hit and run 1-0.
There goes Pillar. The hit and run is on. It's a beauty into right. Fisher comes up throwing. Pillar's headed for third. He's in there safely. Darwin Barney is 3 for 3. Kevin Pillar with a good head first slide avoids the tag of Davis at third.
Good time to use it. 1-0. Number 9 hitter. You got some speed on first base. You're gambling you're going to get a fastball. He does, and Pillar does a good job. Checks where this ball is. One more look to see where the right fielder is. He's going to challenge him. Good head first slide, and he is safe. Good aggressive running by the Blue Jays. Good aggressive call by John Gibbons and his crew. And the Blue Jays are in business. First and third, nobody out.
Darwin Barney's first 3-hit game of the season. Bautista lays off that first pitch breaking ball. Great opportunity for the Blue Jays here in the 7th. Pilar singled off the third baseman's glove. Barney line a base hit into right on the hit and run. Breaking ball and the appeal down to first. No swing, according to Rob Drake.
Where now Jose knows that they got to challenge him here. He can sit fastball in a certain spot, try and do some damage. Trying to get him to go after those 2 breaking balls on the first 2 pitches. Jose, with that great patience, has himself in a good hitter's count.
They got a fastball at 95 upstairs. That's a tough slider. 2-2 now.
That tough slider, you can't open up your front side. You got to stay with it. If you have to hit it to right field, you have to hit it to right field. That's a big strikeout pitch for him.
Two and two, nobody out. Tried to throw that front door that time and missed inside. It's a full count. Barney at first with Morton on deck, probably not going to run in this situation. Morton has 7 strikeouts. Not running. Breaking ball, that's a fair ball. Pilar's coming home and they're not going to get anybody. McCann came out in front of home plate. White made a strong throw, but Pilar broke on contact, and the Blue Jays have tied it up. Strange play how McCann came away from home plate. I think they had a shot at Pilar if he stays home.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't come. They weren't going to turn 2. He's waiting for it. White aggressively goes home, has a good throw, and if he stays on the plate, he's got a shot at getting him. But Pilar steals another run for the Blue Jays.
Well, Bautista picks up an RBI on the fielder's choice. He's got 2 RBIs. Still nobody out. Barney is now at second.
I don't know why Brian McCann came off of home plate.
Yeah, it's really kind of baffling. It almost looked as if he thought the bases were loaded.
And it was a force play.
Yeah, it almost looked like he thought the bases were loaded and he was going to make a play like a first baseman coming off.
He started to block the play, if you will, getting ready to catch it and put the tag on, but then gave up on that. Blue Jays will take it for sure.
It's a 3-3 game. Russell Martin is 0 for 3 so far. Ball and a strike to the Blue Jays catcher. Well, whenever Morton needs a big pitch, he goes to that slider.
He goes with the slider against the right-handers. And he's had 7 strikeouts tonight, 6 of them swinging. All of them with that slider.
Took a shot at that inside corner and missed. It's now 2-2. Boy, the Blue Jays just haven't been able to string a lot of hits together. They got back-to-back hits to start this inning, and Bautista hit the fielder's choice. Pick up his second RBI. Breaking ball. Bregman flips to Altuve, who turns it quickly. What a double play. Alex Bregman shoveled it to Altuve, who never hesitated, came all the way across the bag, kind of threw over his shoulder. Right on the money to White at first.
He didn't have time really to set his feet at second base because he had a long way to go, Altuve, so he just caught it and threw it all in one motion. Another slider. Bregman from behind the bag to Altuve. Over to White, 6-4-3. Good feed. You can see he didn't have time to set his feet and then stop and then unload the ball. So he just went across the bag and threw on the run.
The 118th time the Blue Jays have grounded into a double play. That's been a problem for them all season long. Josh Donaldson now batting with a runner at third and 2 outs. Look at the positioning. Altuve is standing right there, almost in his tracks. He makes the play, but the Blue Jays get a couple of hits to start the inning. Jose Bautista has driven in a pair, and we are tied as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Beltran, Bregman, and McCann for Houston. By authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Well, quite a different ball game tonight. It's a 3-3 game as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Last night, the Astros won 16-7. The pitchers have done a much better job tonight. Charlie Morton and Marco Estrada. Carlos Beltran playing in left field tonight at the start in the outfield. They didn't expect him to play much outfield. In fact, the players had a ceremony to bury his glove. So you're not going to need that, Carlos. We're going to have a ceremony and put it to rest.
Included with everything, right? Didn't they have like a priest and everything?
Oh yeah.
I think Reddick was the priest. They went out
first
there.
Class. Gave it a proper burial. And here he delivers a base hit for Beltran. His first hit of the night, leadoff single here in the 7th. Ryan Tepera starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays. Marco Estrada has been terrific. He gave up 3 runs on a pair of home runs, a 2-run shot to Reddick in the first, a solo home run to White in the 3rd, and that's been it.
Yeah, that's just their 4th hits right there. Blue Jays have out-hit the Astros 7-4 tonight. But this is an offense that's been described as relentless. They just keep coming after you.
Alex Bregman, the shortstop. Bregman hit his 13th home run of the season last night to right field. He's one of those guys that'll hit it foul line to foul line. Average of 271 for the season.
Not a real big guy. And in that disastrous inning where they scored 9 runs, he made the final out. And if you remember that, he hit a hanging breaking ball right to the wall in front of the 362 sign. That would have been a grand slam.
Pulls this one past Donaldson down the left field line. Beltran's headed for third. The ball is down in the corner. Beltran will stop there as the ball is rifled in by Goins. So Bregman gets his first hit of the night. It's a single and a double for Houston here in the 7th.
There's that relentless offense. Single, now double. Beltran was going to third base. Just out of the reach of Donaldson down the left field line. It goes all the way into the corner because they were guarding the line. Watch Gary Pettis, the third base coach. He initially stops them and then he sends them. And by then it's too late. Beltran, he's going to concede that he's going to make it from first to third. And then had thoughts of scoring. Saw the stop sign. So the Astros, right after the Blue Jays tie it, here they come again. Second and third, nobody out.
Over his career, Beltran has been hampered by knee issues. He's 40 years old, and he was trying to gather as much momentum as possible. And Gary Pettis, just back coaching after knee surgery, initially said stop, and then saw a bobble down in the corner, says come on, and Beltran says, hey,
yeah,
I can't ask my knees to do that. Nobody out. The infield is in for the Blue Jays. Brian McCann, the hitter, he pops up the first pitch. Morton, the catcher, in foul territory, makes the catch. Boy, that's a big out for the Blue Jays. One away.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Marco Estrada, it's a big out. It's McCann to pop up. You mentioned it. Estrada feels very good about his pitching when he can get pop-ups.
I've noticed that now 3 starts in a row from him. A lot of pop-ups. He said a lot of them I'll get off my changeup.
6 tonight. This is the rookie, J.D. Davis. Davis picked up his first big league hit his last time up back in the 5th. Got an infield hit. Blue Jays playing the infield in. 0-2.
Marco struck him out last time, or excuse me, his first time. Got him taking the pitch for the strikeout. He also had an infield hit, like you said, and then was caught stealing to end the 5th inning on a strike him out, throw him out. Marco can throw him anything right here.
High fastball. Davis is a pretty good high ball hitter. And we talk about his power numbers in the minors. He's got some big power. Now it's up to Morton to decide they want to go upstairs again with the fastball or throw him a changeup.
Yeah, if that's your best pitch, you know, I think you go with your best pitch right here.
Coming upstairs. He wouldn't bite. Estrada has such confidence in that changeup. He can throw ball 3 and then come with the 3-2 changeup
right
to a rookie.
And if he doesn't get the memo, Marco's going to end up with a strikeout and a big one.
It's tied at 3-0.
Here's the changeup.
Estrada needed a strikeout, and he went back to the old reliable changeup.
You're a young player. You don't want to fall behind because you don't know what you're going to get with 2 strikes. It could be a fastball. It could be a curveball. That time he had him out in front with his changeup, his best pitch.
6 strikeouts for Marco, none bigger than that one right there. Runners at second and third, 1 out. It gets a big strikeout of J.D. Davis. Now Tyler White. He was homered and struck out. Popped him up. They know White can hit a low ball, and I might not throw him a changeup.
That would go right to where his strength is. They struck him out last time with a high fastball. 3-2 high fastball.
Know what we haven't seen tonight? The curveball. Fastball, another pop-up. The way he has been laid on those 2 pitches suggests to me that he's sitting on a changeup. Marco has a good curveball. He doesn't throw it. Hasn't thrown it much the last 3 starts, but boy, oh boy, if he wanted to break one out right now, it'd be a great time for it.
It might surprise him. Last start, he threw basically fastball changeup and was successful with that.
Going upstairs again. Got him. Oh, what a big effort by Estrada. Second and third, nobody out. He pops up McCann, strikes out Davis, and strikes out White for a second time. It's 3-3. When we come back, it'll be Smoke, followed by Kendrys Morales and Steve Pearce. The big bats for the Blue Jays coming up in this 3-3 game.
Join us for Super Jays Day. We're calling all of our super fans down to the ballpark to enjoy some activities and fun photo opportunities in the WestJet flight deck. First 20,000 fans in attendance will receive a pair of Blue Jays high socks. It's the Blue Jays taking on the Pirates. 1:07 p.m. You can get your tickets at bluejays.com. Guys.
Thank you very much, Sean, as we have a new pitcher for Houston here to start the top of the 8th. Chris Stavinsky, the All-Star, making his 45th appearance.
Look at those numbers out of the bullpen. He's won 6 games out of the bullpen, 282 earned run average. But the Blue Jays have treated him rudely this year. He's pitched 1 inning against him, 3 hits, 4 earned runs. Justin Smoke got him for an RBI double. Tulo had a 3-run home run against Stavinsky. Fastball and an outstanding changeup.
There's that changeup with a little bit of tail on it, runs inside as Smoke quickly behind 0-2. Smoke is 0 for 3, his 19-game streak of reaching base in jeopardy. There's a changeup, it's bounced in the dirt. Charlie Morton is out of the game, and Marco Estrada with a terrific effort as he is congratulated for 7 strong innings by the manager. Back-to-back 7-inning starts for Marco Estrada. Lewinsky misses with that heater.
There is such a variance between that changeup and his fastball. 10 to 12 miles per hour, which is tough to hit. You sit on that changeup, he's got enough fastball to get it by you.
Lewinsky came into that game at Rogers Center in the 7th inning back on July 8th. The Blue Jays had a 3-1 lead. Mike Fiers against Marcus Stroman. And Lewinsky was charged with 4 earned runs in an inning, and the Blue Jays held on to win that one 7-2. There's that 95-mile-an-hour heater with a little late move, and Smoke has struck out 3 times tonight.
Fed him a lot of changeups early on, and then that 95-miler with some movement finishes him off. You can see why Lewinsky was an all-star setup man.
Kendrys Morales, he's 0 for 3 as well. Morales lined out to the right fielder his last time up.
One of the reasons Lewinsky's been effective this year is been very good against left-handed batters. They're hitting just over 100 against him this season. That's where that changeup comes into play. Not afraid to throw it at any time.
Yeah, he'll throw it down in the end, he'll throw it away, and sometimes it cuts like a slider. And that last one ran away, up and away from Morales. He takes ball 4. So Morales is aboard with 1 out. So Morales draws the 1-out walk, and with that, Ezequiel Carrera has come off the bench. He's going to take over as a pinch runner at first base for Kendrys Morales. Carrera coming off the bench oftentimes in these situations, a close ball game. Enter the game as a pinch runner. This is the 11th time he has appeared as a pinch runner.
He can run. He can steal you the base if you need him to.
Steve Pearce is 0 for 2 with a walk. Lewinsky forces Carrera to slide back into first. Brian McCann has not thrown particularly well this season. He's caught just 7 of 46 base stealers, just over 15%. Carrera has 6 stolen bases, caught just once. Obviously concerned about Carrera. It's a 3-3 ball game. We're in the 8th. The Blue Jays have stranded 6. The Astros have left 3.
They could pick on a changeup if they're thinking about stealing a base right here. It'd be a little bit easier to try and steal second on a changeup. You can gamble if you want, because Lewinsky really doesn't walk too many batters. That walk right there to Morales, uncharacteristic. Just his 16th walk this season to go along with 79 strikeouts. So you can try and steal and get yourself in the scoring position.
Davinsky started out playing with the Chicago White Sox. He came to Houston in an August deal in 2012, part of a deal for Brett Myers. Myers went to the White Sox in exchange for a couple of minor leaguers and a player to be named later, and that was Davinsky. There goes the runner. The throw from McCann is late and short of the mark. 7th steal for Carrera, big one here in the 8th inning.
And it looked like the right pitch to run on. Took a long time for that ball to get to McCann, and didn't have really any chance as Carrera takes off. That's a straight steal. As you see, he never looked back in.
7 for 8 in stolen base attempts. Here's out in front of that off-speed pitch. They're blocked by McCann as Carrera has to hold at second.
All in the dirt. You can see it out there at second base. You can see the flight of the baseball. And if you read that that ball's going to bounce in front of home plate, just read it. With just one out. Read it, try to get to third base. They are keeping a close eye on Carrera at second base.
Pierce takes ball 4. Chris Davinsky back-to-back walks after striking out Smoke to begin the inning. Brett Strom, the pitching coach of the Astros, out of the dugout. No one's throwing in the Astros bullpen.
Yeah, that's his best pitch, the changeup. He hasn't been able to throw it for the strikes, and the Blue Jays have shown a lot of patience laying off of that changeup. Walk to Morales. That was on 4 pitches. He just lost the zone on that one. Pierce showed some patience, staying back and reading changeup out of his hand.
So Ryan Goins gets another chance with runners on base. Goins had a bunt single his first time up. He's 1 for 3.
Just looking at the numbers, this is the guy the Blue Jays won up with runners in scoring position.
Goins coming into this game batting .328 for the season with runners in scoring position. He had a 3-run home run last night, part of a 2-hit night.
Fans are getting a little antsy here. They're not used to seeing this from Davinsky, but Blue Jays are. Told you about that inning where they scored 4 runs against them. Donaldson, Josh had a big walk in that inning after a Martin hit. That was right before the Smoke double.
That's all the way back to the backstop. Then the runners are going to move up. Davinsky having all sorts of problems here. Couple of walks, now a wild pitch. That takes the Blue Jays out of a double play situation.
It'll probably bring the infield in. yanks that one all the way to the backstop. This is his problems right here. He has created this all by himself.
Ken Giles starting to heat it up in a hurry. Giles, the closer, with 22 saves. We are in the 8th inning with 1 out. The infield right on the edge of the grass.
3-0. Blue Jays are probably going to play contact here. If Goins hits a ball on the ground, they're going to try and use the speed of Carrera to get the tie-breaking run, force the Astros to make a play.
3-1. Popped up down the left field, foul territory. Davis makes the catch. Carrera will hold at third, and Goins pops out. Second out of the inning.
Just like the bottom of the 7th inning, Marco Estrada had runners at second and third, nobody out, and he wriggled off the hook there. Blue Jays threatening again, trying to score a run for Marco now to try and make him a winner.
Marco got a pop-up off the bat of Brian McCann, then struck out J.D. Davis and Tyler White to strand the 2 base runners, and Davinsky's not going to get a chance. A.J. Hinch is out of the dugout, second visit to the mound this inning, so it's automatic. He'll go to Ken Giles as Davinsky has created a tough situation. After the strikeout of the leadoff man here in the 8th, he walks Morales, then walked Pierce, gets the pop out, but he's out of the ball game. Ken Giles, the closer, in this 3-3 game with 2 outs. In the 8th with 2 outs and runners at second and third. New pitcher is Ken Giles, the closer, making his 42nd appearance.
Big strikeout pitcher for the Houston Astros. He's had 48 of them in just 38 2/3 innings this season. Big fastball, big slider, everything's hard.
Broken bat, little looper. This is trouble. Bregman out. He makes an over-the-shoulder catch to save 2 runs. Alex Bregman with a terrific effort. Turned and burned out into the outfield to take an over-the-shoulder catch and rob Pilar of 2 RBIs and keep it a 3-3 game. Bregman making just his 9th start at shortstop. A terrific inning-ending play running away from the infield. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 3-3. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Hazel May with Greg Zahn from the Samsung broadcast studio. At the bottom of the 8th, the pair last pitched on Tuesday at Chicago. They gave up 3 hits in an inning, but they got a great play from Kevin Pillar to gun down a runner at the plate in that 8th inning, as Pillar threw out Kevin Smith trying to score from second, a little blooper. So he gave up 3 hits in the inning, but no runs.
But no runs, and this is his inning right here. 49th time that Tepera has been in the ball game. He's won 5 games out of the bullpen himself. He gets the top of the order of the Houston Astros. This is his inning. He has become the 8th inning man for John Gibbons and the Blue Jays this season.
Derek Fisher, Jose Altuve, and Josh Reddick. That's the schedule of batters for Houston. First pitch is outside for a ball. Fisher scored on the Reddick home run in the first. Fisher getting his first look at a lot of these Blue Jays pitchers. That's popped up. Donaldson into foul territory, and Fisher's retired. First down to the bottom of the 8th. So Altuve, who has been 0 for 3 to this point. You take a look at Altuve offensively and where he ranks this season. It's pretty impressive across the board, and he's been doing this for a while now.
43 multi-hit games this season. Very aggressive early in the counts. Get that average at 365 heading into tonight's ball game. That's first in the American League.
One hopper bounced to Donaldson. Altuve's 0 for 4. Oh, that's a big out this inning.
And keep him and his speed off the bases. Had a couple of ground ball outs, a couple of pop-ups and fly-outs. Ryan Tepera pounding that strike zone.
Josh Reddick hit a 2-run home run in the first. He has not faced Ryan Tepera. And boy, Tepera hits that glove of Martin. 0-1. Foul tip off the mask of Russell Martin. Tepera's got enough heater to go upstairs with Reddick. Josh is a much better low ball hitter than a high ball hitter.
Yeah, he's got plenty of fastball if he keeps it above the belt around the letters. He can also go downstairs with a hard slider. Russell caught this one right off the bottom of the mask, and it knocks him off, shakes him up a little bit.
We had mentioned earlier Evan Gattis went on the disabled list, the Astros' second catcher. He was hit on a backswing and suffered a concussion Thursday night. This ball is upstairs. With the high fastball, and Reddick strikes out. So Tepera has a good inning in the 8th. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the 9th in his 3-3 game.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda Versatach. Meet our ultimate yard work companion with up to 7 interchangeable attachments.
Darwin Barney with a perfect night at the plate. He's 3 for 3, his first 3-hit game of the season. And he has done a good job. Last time up, he had a hit and run on with Kevin Pillar. That led to the tying run. Pillar went first to third on the hit and run and scored on the fielder's choice off the bat of Jose Bautista.
And that's where we are right here. They threatened last inning. Blue Jays threatened but could not score. Got to turn it up just a little bit against Giles with that big fastball.
Check swing. He spurs a pretty good slider down on the wing. Darwin's had 4 4-hit games in his career. His last 4-hit game, July 2nd, 2014, at Boston, while playing for the Cubs. He has 3 hits tonight. A ball and 2 strikes.
Off 99 miles an hour. You can see why the Astros gave up 5 pitchers for this guy right here, Giles. They got him from the Phillies. for Mark Appel. A couple other minor leaguers. Brett Oberholzer was also in that trade. And Vince Velasquez. 5 pitchers for Giles.
Houston was in need of a closer. And they went out and got Giles. And he's had some ups and downs here since he's come to Houston. But right now he's throwing the ball very well.
Last year when they got him, trying to prove himself, overthrowing the ball too much. Lost his closer's job. This year, he's been great.
He had 15 saves for the Phillies in 2015. His first year in Houston last year, he also had 15 saves.
But the big number, 102 strikeouts in just 60 innings. That's why they like his arm.
Barney loops it to right. Derek Fisher in, the ball sinking quickly, but he makes a nice running catch. Barney retired for the first time tonight.
Ball was slicing away from the outfielder Fisher. He played left field last night. He switches over to right field. That ball is going to slice to his glove side. Hauls it in for the out. Tell you what, the Houston Astros are full of corner outfielders who can run and are very athletic.
One of them is on the DL right now in George Springer. I expect him back active on Tuesday. We saw Springer early this afternoon running around the grass at the edge of the infield, running full speed, and he looked pretty good.
So they want to give him a couple more days. They're off on Monday. So give him a couple more days, make sure he's okay.
Bautista lays off that breaking ball. It's 2-0 to Jose. Jose is 1 for 4 so far, but he's got a couple of RBIs, and they both came on ground balls. A ground out in the second. He drove in a run, then a fielder's choice in the 7th. That's where McCann got kind of mixed up at home. And Pilar scored the tying run. There's a base hit for Bautista. He's got a chance. He's going to hustle around first, and Braddock gets it back in quickly as Bautista delivers a 1-out single here in the 9th.
There you go. He knows with the outfielders deep, he knows he's got a chance to possibly turn this into a double. So you run as hard as you can until the outfielder stops you. Keep your head up, plays right in front of you. Jose's got a multi-hit game.
He's 2 for 5. Russell Martin is 0 for 4. He came into this game with a 5-game hit streak. That's just the 8th hit for the Blue Jays. Houston has managed just 5. So Martin is 0 for 4 going up against Giles.
They were bluffing over there at first base. He's trying to distract Giles a little bit.
Bautista with 5 stolen bases this season. Obviously, this would be a big opportunity. The Blue Jays got a stolen base in the 8th when Ezequiel Carrera stole second base, but he was stranded at third. Roberto Osuna standing by down in the bullpen. Martin is late on that fastball.
You can see him telling himself to get that thing ready and get it out in front. If they pick on the right pitch of the slider, and McCann's got to reach for it or go out and try and block it, Jose can try and steal a base. He doesn't have a very big lead.
Not running. Martin checks his swing. Strikes out. Looks like Giles took a little bit off that breaking ball, a little bit slower, and had Martin out in front.
Made him work. Long at bats. That slider. They got some pitchers who can strike you out. You got to get ready for the fastball. He just crosses him up with that hard breaking ball. Well, this is the matchup if you're the Blue Jays you want to see right here. Donaldson swinging a hot bat. Game on the line.
Josh knocked in the first run of this game with a first inning RBI double. Donaldson in this ballpark has hit .347 with 8 doubles, now 9, and 7 home runs. He's driven in 23 runs in 29 games hitting here at Minute Maid Park. Check swing foul back to the screen. It's a ball and a strike.
The outfielder deep. Really pushing themselves towards the middle of the field also. It's very short down the left field line, very short down the right field line, so they're trying to cover the gaps in left center and right center. No doubles defense for the Astros.
Donaldson chases that breaking ball. A ball and 2 strikes now. And that'll get the crowd on their feet here in Houston. Outside, 2-2.
Josh had a plan right there. He figured that he was going to throw him a slider, and he did. Josh saw it out of his hands immediately. He's just looking for one of those pitches inside.
Throws his bat and swings and misses. Donaldson is out on strikes. Giles strikes out a pair in the 9th. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It's a 3-3 game. Gurriel, Beltran, and Bregman in this tie game. the checkered flag event. Check out their all-star lineup.
We're going to have a little fun with tonight's drive of the game. J.D. Davis, first major league hit, drives it all the way out to the shortstop. As Goins can't come up with it, that will be his first major league hit. Tonight's drive of the game. First big league hit. Throw it on out of here. J.D. Davis with tonight's drive of the game.
Congratulations to that rookie third baseman as he's getting a little briefing from the skipper, A.J. Hinch.
And in about 10 years, that's going to be a line drive into the outfield.
Next week. So here is Yulieski Gurriel. He is 0 for 3 so far. Ryan Tepera. They tied the side in order in the 8th. Fly ball, not deep, in left. Pierce in, he makes the catch, one away. Anything in the air toward left, everybody gets very anxious because it is just a short poke to reach the Crawford seats in left.
The crowd got a little excited on that one. It's just a little pop-up into short left field.
Carlos Beltran. Single to right his last time up. There's a single in 3 trips tonight. Beltran first came to the Astros way back in 2004. He was acquired in trade from the Kansas City Royals, played 90 games the rest of the season with Houston. He hit 23 home runs and drove in 53 runs in those 90 games in the second half.
It was that work in the playoffs that really got him his big contract with the Mets.
You mean just when he went 20 for 46 in the playoffs?
Is that good?
He hit 455 in the NLDS against Atlanta. And then they were beat by the Cardinals in the National League Championship Series, but he hit 417 with 4 home runs. He had 8 home runs in 2 playoff series in 2004.
He's trying to end it right there, but he's going to go down swinging.
So with 2 outs, now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ben and Faisal. Thanks, fellas, and that's coming up right after this game. We are in the bottom of the 9th. It's a 3-3 game. 2 outs. Alex Bregman doubled out into the quarter in left field his last time up. Staying away from Bregman, and you can't blame him.
Yeah, players are thinking about being heroes in these situations, just trying to open it up a little bit too quick to try and pull the ball into those seats in left field. So you combat that by going slider down and away. Keep it in the ballpark.
3-0. Brian McCann, a lefty bat, is on deck. McCann has gone 0 for 3. 3-0 to Bregman. There's a strike. Francisco Liriano, who has made one appearance since the trade to Houston. He was saddled with the loss in the Tampa Bay series.
'96. This is Ryan's second inning. He still has plenty left in that arm.
Ryan hasn't pitched since Tuesday in Chicago, so he should be somewhat fresh. Marco Estrada, 7 strong innings for a second straight start. Ryan Tepera came on in the 8th. Good pitch. Tepera has retired all 5 he's faced to this point. He's got Bregman with a 3-2 count.
Not a lot of solid contact either against Tepera. Yeah, his fastball is 96, but he's putting it in a good spot, down and away.
He walked it. Ball 4 is up in the end. Bregman will walk with 2 outs. Bregman has 12 stolen bases. He's been caught just twice this season.
And you know, they like to take their chances to try and win ball games. A.J. Hinch was saying that earlier today. He goes, we like to stay out on the cutting edge of things and just we'll take our chances to win ball games. You got to figure at some point he's going to be going.
They have 69 steals as a team. J.D. Davis was thrown out by Russell Martin to end the 5th inning on a strike him out, throw him out. Bregman's not running here, and it's a first pitch outside to McCann. You can't sleep on Brian McCann. He's got some power.
Yep, yeah, anything into the gap, and the game could be over. Ryan Goins and Josh Donaldson talking about who's going to be covered in case there's a steal attempt. Goins looks like he's the one giving the signs on the coverage.
Quick and close over at first. Smoke with a quick tag on Bregman.
Blue Jays are looking to see if they want to challenge this. Everybody's going to take a minute. Crew chief Jerry Davis from behind the plate. Nope.
Go ahead. Blue Jays didn't see anything they wanted to review. Bregman back standing that time. I always enjoy that when the fans boo because a pitcher's trying to hold a runner close. What do you want him to do? Give him a running start?
Yeah, the home fans want him to steal.
Not running. McCann hits it high into the air, but it's going to stay in the air. Bautista is there, and that's the night. We'll go to the 10th. It's a 3-3 game. It'll be
Live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected with the game's best players all season long with game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball.
How about Francisco Liriano appearing against his former team in the 10th inning? Liriano making his second appearance for Houston since the trade.
Yeah, he made his debut last Thursday versus Tampa Bay. Retired the first batter before giving up a hit and a walk. He ended up losing that game. He's now 6-6 with an ERA of about 6. And they bring him in to turn Justin Smoke around. This is where Smoke does a lot of damage from the right side versus left-handed pitching.
Smoke goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Derek Fisher began the game in right field. He moves into left as Beltran is out of the game. They've improved their defense by adding Jake Marisnick. He comes into the game in center field, and with that, Josh Reddick, the starting center fielder, is now in right. Liriano gets ahead quickly, 0-2 to Smoke. Smoke leads the American League in batting average against lefty pitching, .412.
Be patient. Liriano has shown signs that he can walk you. He starts missing with that fastball.
Bounced in the dirt. Liriano pitched a total of 28 games for the Blue Jays, 2 in relief. Remember, he was acquired last August 1st in a trade that brought him right here to Houston. Blue Jays had started a series here in Houston on August 1st, and they lost that game 2-1 in 14 innings. We're in the 10th here tonight in the 3-3 game. The Blue Jays would lose that opener and then win the next 3.
A little bit different than last night's game, wasn't it, tonight? The pitchers
never give up on a baseball series. 16-7 last night, 3-3 tonight. Full count now on Justin Smoke.
Remember, no Morales in the game. Kendrys Morales was pinch run for a couple of innings ago.
That was in the 8th, so Ezekiel Carrera is on deck. Smoke hits a ground ball. Big hop for Bregman at short. Smoke is 0 for 5. So Ezekiel Carrera was the scheduled batter. Had Smoke reached, Carrera might have been left in the game to bunt, but now Rob Refsnyder will come off the bench and pinch hit for Carrera. So Carrera is out after a pinch hitting appearance. Refsnyder started in the game last night, went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Ball 2. Refsnyder, as a pinch hitter for his career, is 0 for 8.
Got a little pop. He's in a count now where they're going to need a base runner, so they'll probably wait him out. Give him the green light just yet, but he's got some pop. He can reach those seats in left field.
Takes ball 4. 4 straight balls from Liriano, and Refsnyder reaches. 1 out walk here in the 10th. Refsnyder for his career has 7 stolen bases. He's just been caught once. You know, it's not a bad time to gamble. Liriano's tough to catch. McCann hasn't thrown well. He's got that heavy fastball that's tough to catch, and then he throws that wicked slider.
And Liriano's move over to first base is average. So I'm with you. I think you have to gamble and take chances.
Steve Pearce has walked twice tonight, officially 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ball 2. Roberto Osuna is loose, standing by, and now Dominic Leone has joined him, which suggests that the Blue Jays take the lead. Osuna will pitch, and if they don't, Leone will.
Leone, Tapero's night is over. Still be patient here. Keyhole of 2-0.
Indecisive swing there, as Pearce wasn't really sure and then checked it, but it's a strike. That's a good time to run
Go
right
now. Exactly. I'm thinking the same thing. Liriano, excuse me, is concentrating on the batter.
Refsnyder is not running, and there's strike 2.
He's not even paying attention to that runner at first base.
Refsnyder got a terrific lead, and he steals it. As the ball was inside, that's ball 3, and it was a running start for Refsnyder. No chance at all for McCann even to make a throw.
Even, watch this. He goes on first movement. That's about 5 or 6 steps before Liriano lets go of the baseball. And he picked a good pitch to run on, slider in the dirt. So the Blue Jays stay aggressive and get that runner into scoring position.
Luke Gregerson, the right-hander, loosening up in a hurry in the Astros bullpen. It's a full count to Pearce. Refsnyder now in scoring position. Pearce chases one down in for the strikeout. 2 outs.
Looked like it might have been ball 4. Liriano goes to the slider. He loves to use that pitch. 3-2. McCann slides inside, and Liriano picks up the strikeouts.
Ryan Goins now. Goins is 1 for 4. This is the 14th extra inning game the Blue Jays have played. They are 4-9 in extra innings, while the Astros are 4-1. 14 extra inning
14.
games.
Yeah, a lot of other one-run ball games too. The Blue Jays have played a lot of close games and walked off a few times this year too. Tired of seeing that. Refsnyder's doing a good job getting that good lead and a good secondary lead.
The Astros have their best outfield defense on the field now, with Marisnick coming in to play center.
So you get that big secondary lead, He starts to swing the bat now with 2 strikes. Go. You got to get a great jump. Anything into the outfield, Luis Rivera is going to be sending him.
1-2. Base hit to left field. Refsnyder's getting the way. Here's the throw from Fisher. It's a strong throw, but he is safe. Ryan Goins again delivers a clutch hit. A nasty 2-strike pitch away. He strokes it into left field. Refsnyder with the stolen base was in scoring position, and Goins has given the Blue Jays the lead.
And they were playing in the pole, and Goins crosses him up, goes the other way, punches it to left field. They're going to take a look at this one as Tucker came in, and you can see Rivera's got to send him. The throw is offline. Does he get the tag in front of the plate? The feet were not in. The feet were off to the side of the plate. Was the tag in front of the plate? Does he tag his hand? Or does he get the hand in before the tag?
I don't think Refsnyder touched home plate.
I thought his left hand might have.
Watch the left hand. Oh, he does slipe it in there before the tag is applied. What a great slide by Refsnyder. He gets the front edge of home plate. Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire, made the call. Tony Randazzo, the next senior umpire, is also in on the conference call.
I didn't think the feet got in, but the nifty slide where the hand got in right there. Now the question comes, did he tag him anywhere on the body before the hand got in? From that shot, it didn't look like he ever tagged him.
I don't think he ever tagged him. Again, you can see how far McCann has to dive back in. There's no tag there at all as Refsnyder swiped his hand over the front edge of the plate.
How about the positioning of the umpire? Right there.
Jerry Davis, the veteran umpire, couldn't have been in a better spot to make the call.
In full view.
So the ruling on the field is that Refsnyder is safe. Goins picks up another RBI with his second hit of the night.
And the throw was so far offline that he was shallow in left field. He had an open lane to throw, and he is safe. Good call, good slide. But the throw was way offline where the catcher had to go up the first base line, make the catch, and try to dive back over the plate. Blue Jays will take it.
So Liriano gives up a walk and an RBI single. He's going to be out of the game. He's on the hook for the loss in his second appearance. A.J. Hinch has made the call. Luke Gregerson, the right-hander, will come on to face Kevin Pillar. The Blue Jays have taken a 4-3 lead here in the 10th. Francisco Liriano here in the 10th with 2 outs, his 46th appearance of the season.
At 46 games, leads the Houston Astros in appearances. He's won a couple of games out of the bullpen also. That strikeout rate, look at that for Gregerson, over 10 per 9 innings, his highest since he posted an 11 mark in his rookie season back in 2009. A lot of breaking balls from Gregerson. So if you're Kevin Pillar, sit on it early in the count. Try and drive in the run. Heads up play by Gomes. We didn't mention that he went to second base on that throw home. So he is now in scoring position.
Big run out there at second. Blue Jays have scored a run here. Rob Refsnyder, let's don't forget, he drew the walk with 1 out to get on base. There's pitch strike to Kevin Pillar.
He also picked up a big stolen base. That was on Liriano. He was off before he even unloaded the ball.
There's that breaking ball in the dirt. Gregerson for the season, his ERA is 4.04. But he had a bad outing early on. Gave up 6 earned runs in the 3rd of an inning way back in April against the Royals. You take that outing out of his season line, his ERA is 2.78. One bad outing for a reliever can elevate that ERA all season long.
You got to get those innings up and those games pitched up to get that thing down. Beltran, he's not going to get worked up in these situations. He's just going to continue to do what he does, and that's throw a lot of breaking balls. He has closed in the past. He's done that for Oakland. He's also closed here for the Astros.
Fastball right at the bottom of the zone. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Kevin Pillar. Gregerson's in his 3rd season with the Astros. Began his career with the Padres. Spent 5 years with the Padres. Way outside. This is Gregerson's 9th big league season. And he strikes out Pillar. So Gregerson comes in to put out the fire. But the Blue Jays take the lead. Ryan Goins picks up the RBI, his 40th RBI, aided by a terrific slide from Rob Refsnyder. Sneaks that hand in under the tag of Brian McCann, and the Blue Jays have the lead in the 10th.
question. After 40 seasons, how would you rank the Blue Jays' 40 greatest players? Go to sportsnet.ca to select your top 40 list.
That looks like a good idea right about now. A nice cold ice snow cone. So Roberto Osuna comes on with a chance to win it, close it up, and save it for Ryan Tepera. Tepera is the pitcher of record for the Blue Jays. Francisco Liriano is on the hook for the loss. So Osuna, making his 48th appearance of the season, will work to the 8, 9, and 1 batters in the Astros lineup.
And the third game for Osuna on this road trip. Pitched a couple of times in Chicago versus the White Sox. He will get 8-9-1 here. Great numbers all the way around for Osuna this season. First in walks per 9 innings. He's got the lowest.
Roberto took the loss in the opener of this road trip in Chicago, when he gave up a couple of runs in the 9th inning on 3 hits. The bullpen had a rough night. They gave up 7 runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
That was the Marco Estrada start, where Marco pitched a beautiful ball game and came away with no decision.
This is the rookie, J.D. Davis. The Red Sox have beaten the White Sox. The Orioles beat the Tigers at home 5-2. Yankees won in Cleveland 2-1. Osuna strikes out Davis for the first out in the bottom of the 10th.
Third time that he's gone down.
Marco Estrada was the starter in this game tonight. He was matched up against Charlie Morton. Estrada goes 7 innings, gives up 3 runs on 5 hits. Walked a couple, struck out 7. Back-to-back 7-inning outings for Marco Estrada.
His line is almost identical to the Houston starter Charlie Morton's line tonight. 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 7 innings. Pitched well enough again to win.
Tyler White. You can bet they're going to pitch him upstairs.
Roberto Osuna can adapt and understand. You know, he wasn't just sitting out in that bullpen not paying attention. The word gets passed around quickly. Hey, we're going to pitch this guy up now. So, you know, he's going to try to go up or off the plate.
Late cutter right there for strike 2. It's 1-2.
Well, now's the time to go upstairs, right? 4-seamer.
Hasn't seen it yet. Again, Martin lets Osuna call his game. He had to reach for that pitch. Russell, as experienced as he is, really has an admiration for Osuna and his ability to read bats and predict what would be an effective pitch. So if Russell offers a pitch, Osuna doesn't want it, he will oftentimes go with Roberto.
He's very aware, isn't he, Roberto? Looks like they want to go up there.
That's it. 94 upstairs. We haven't seen the Osuna fastball like we did in the Oakland series at home. He was throwing at 96, 97 miles an hour, and he appeared in 3 of those 4 games in that series. Uses that slider for the strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Osuna here in the 10th.
3 times that White has struck out tonight. Osuna has struck out the side this season 6 times. He gets the first 2 here in the 10th. That late breaker does the trick.
That is such an important number, because that means in a tight game, a 1-run game, you're not giving up any contact. Strike out the side, no damage. Leadoff man Derek Fisher. Donaldson has it. This should do it. That's the ball game. Roberto Osuna makes quick work of the Astros in the bottom of the 10th, and the Blue Jays come away with the win to even the series at a game apiece.
What a ball game for the Jays. Scratch and claw. They score a run in the first inning. Astros come right back. Blue Jays just kept the pedal to the metal. Rob Refsnyder gets a big start tonight for the game that he had. Walking stolen base, scoring the winning run on a nice slide. Blue Jays have a chance to win the series tomorrow.
Ryan Tepera wins his 6th game of the season. Another big RBI for Ryan Goins. He's driven in 40 now. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central.